Chapter 1. For the first time since dawn, there was a lull in the gunfire, bringing a tenuous sense of peace to the dense jungle. The morning rain had stopped less than an hour ago, and now the moisture it had yielded was rising back up in that perpetual cycle of give and take between earth and sky. The narrow animal trail, now a man trail, still ran with rivulets of water. Trees and bushes still dripped, producing millions of tiny taps and plops that merged into one soft, magnificent opus. The sun shone through a clearing in the canopy, making the tripwire with its clinging droplets look like a string of glistening jewels stretched across the trail. The popping gunfire that had intermittently pierced the heavy air since dawn flared up, much closer now, and then ceased altogether. Some animals, feeling the thudding vibrations of sodden combat boots, scurried under cover and listened. Soon they could hear the sounds of ragged breathing, the scratching of leaves and branches grasping at fabric and flesh, grunts of exertion, and the occasional imperative shout. The first two arrived ahead of the rest of the group. The man in the lead, a tall American GI, paused only briefly to turn and shout in a voice that was hoarse from exertion. "Hurry up! Come on!" He was breathing hard, but unlike the soldier behind him, was nowhere near the point of collapse. "Move it, Beck!" he said, impatience edging his voice. "We're almost there." He started forward again, glanced down, and caught a gleam that reflected from the bejeweled tripwire. He was almost on it. With the quickness and agility of the trained athlete he was, he leaped over the wire, barely missing it. "Wire!" he screamed. "Look out, Beck!" The trail sloped downward, and his momentum carried him forward. When the shock wave of the blast hit him, he was thrown onto his face into the muddy trail. He lay there, stunned. Someone was turning him over, speaking in urgently. "Kelly! Kelly!" "I'm okay," David Kelly mumbled, not knowing yet if it was true. "Get up, man! We're almost there! The chopper's waiting for us!" He struggled to his feet as his head cleared. He remembered they had to get to the chopper. Seeing him stand up, the other soldier said, "Come on, let's go!" Remembering something, David Kelly said, "What about Beck?" A look came into the other soldier's eyes, one David Kelly had seen too many times. "He got it, man. We'll pick him up tomorrow with the others." The soldier turned and sped down the trail. Now others were racing past, each in his turn glancing at the body on the ground and urging David to get moving. One of them paused. "You okay? Let's go." He pulled on David's sleeve. David nodded. "Yeah," and was about to start down the trail, the last of the group, when he heard a sound that stopped him. A low moan. There was a moment of hesitation, of anguished decision, and he turned around. Beck was a small man, and lying there crumpled in the grass, he looked even smaller. The left side of his face was bloody, and his pants from the waist down were soaked with it. His eyes were closed, and he wasn't moving. But he was alive. Blood was still flowing from a wound on the side of his head. He was moaning softly, almost inaudibly, and David could see an artery throbbing weakly in his neck. David shook his head. "No way," he said, turning away. He had only gone a few yards when he stopped. He stood very still for a moment, his body tense and quivering. Struggling within himself, he turned back. "It's always you, Beck," he said bitterly, grunting as he hoisted the injured man to his shoulders. "It's always you. I always figured you'd get yourself killed. Now you're going to get me killed too, and we don't even like each other."